is in my life, so I hustle.
What's up, YouTube, and welcome to IT Hustle. We will be continuing the series exploring the Blue Team Field Manual. In the last video, we dove into user activity. In this video, we'll be getting into Active Directory inventory. So without further ado, let's get it. So an Active Directory inventory is a fundamental component of effective IT management and security practices. It provides valuable insights into the network environment, facilitates compliance with industry regulations, and helps organizations maintain a secure and well-organized IT infrastructure. So here in the slides, we have various examples of what we're going to be going through today on how we can pull different information in AD that'll be useful for security reasons. So kind of lengthy, we'll cover a majority of it. So we'll be using the command line primarily, then ending it with PowerShell. Let's go back, yeah, right there. So let's go ahead and switch to the lab and check this out. Okay, so we're back in the lab, and again, we're gonna hop on the DC here. How many times do I have the DC open? Too many times? All right. One time's enough. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and hop into the demo. Gonna open up a command prompt. Okay, so the first item we're gonna do is list all the OUs on the domain. So this DS query OU, then DC TC DC local, because the domain is tc.local. All right, and so these are all the OUs that are currently created. So we got domain controllers, domain users, security groups, and domain computers. All right, so we'll clear that. And then we're gonna list all the machines for the Active Directory domain. So we'll do netdom query workstation. Let's move this over here. And we see we have our machines here: HR, management, sales, and manufacturing. Moving on to the next example. We're gonna list the domain controllers that are currently on the domain, because maybe, you know, you might have an organization that has several domain controllers across site-to-site VPNs, things like that. You want to get an idea of the domain controllers on the network. Excuse me. So netdom query DC, we only have one TC DC, so that's listed out accurately. Let's move on to the next example. And this one's to query the primary domain controller. So once again, in that scenario where you have multiple domain controllers, you might want to know which one's the primary or master domain controller. So that's netdom query PDC, primary domain controller. And we only have one, so TCDC is listed again. Clear that one. And now we're going to list the FSMO role owners, FSMO. These are the roles that basically govern Active Directory services. So you can lump them all on one DC or split them up, but it's good to know where each one resides. So we'll do netdom query FSMO. And then it shows us that, you know, we only have one domain controller, so TCDC is holding them all, but we're talking schema master role, domain naming master role, PDC, primary domain controller, RID pool manager, infrastructure manager. Very important information to know. Okay, moving on to the next example. So with this one, we want to find anything created in Active Directory at the date and time specified. And this is the format that it takes it in. paste that in there. DS query everything, filter when created. So we're doing this for the year of 2023. I think that's the day or the month. Let's check the. Okay, so that's the month, so July 17th, and then this is the time, in hours, minutes, and seconds. All right. So let's press enter on that. And then it gives us a huge list of what was created during that time frame. So why would it matter? Like, why would you want to know what's created in a certain time frame? Maybe you had an incident, and you cleaned it up, and now you just want to see, okay, did this guy create stuff while he was in here? Did this threat actor create stuff while they were in here? Or maybe you just want to make sure your staff is doing what they're supposed to do and not doing something they're not supposed to do. So if you see items created that should not be there, All right, let's move on. Okay, so this one we're going to filter for users created at a specific date and time. Once again, using DS query. And we specify object class user, so it's not just everything, it's specifically for users. So in this time frame, we see that a guest user was created. The human resources user was created, management, sales, manufacturing, the Nessus account that we created in the previous video, and then the computer accounts as well. Okay. Another way of getting creation and change information from a specified OU is by using the LDIFE command. So let's copy all that. And let's change to the desktop because it has an output file. Or actually, no, I don't want to do that. Let's stay in this working directory here. Paste that in there. And let's run that. Alright, so that ran successfully. Let's minimize this and check out our output. And it breaks it down a little bit farther. I mean, not farther, but it's more humanly readable. It's easier on the eyes. So it gives you the date and time created, the change type, what it was. So this is pretty nice. Okay. Moving on to the next example. Scroll here. Another way of getting it done. Copy paste this here. So it gives you a few options from the text. Alright. And we're going to be ending it with PowerShell. So let's open a PowerShell. I like ISE. And we're going to get all Active Directory user objects that were created in the last 90 days. So the first thing with PowerShell, you got to import the Active Directory module so it knows what you're calling. And I'm going to go ahead and run the entire selection. So let's scroll to the top here. So it gives you everything. So we have the administrator account, guest account, service account, our HR user. So everything there. So this is how we can catalog and take active inventory of our Active Directory infrastructure. It's pretty cool stuff to have. I really like this section of the book. And another way to do that in PowerShell, let's grab this. Clear this. Just overwrite it here. And let's run that. So it's another way of pulling this information. Just out of curiosity, I want to compare and contrast it real quick. I want to do side by side. No. Yeah, it looks like the same, exact same information, just a different way of going about it. Except for this one specifies when created and the time. Okay, I see the difference. So that's really nice. So that's it for Active Directory inventory. We saw how we can gather key information from our Active Directory environment. In the next video, we'll be getting into Linux discovery. Really looking forward to that one. All resources from this video will be linked in the description. I thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.
I want the finer things in my life, so I hustle.